All right, here we go.
Getting into it
First episode, I
in
guess.
the ratchet ass crib.
Yeah, real.
You want to go? You want to go ahead? Or you want me to go first? Or
Uh, yeah, you can go first.
all right, my name's Owen.
My name's Caleb.
We should have started with you. I just realized.
Yeah, this was supposed to be KO Productions.
KO Productions is the
That's
name.
the working title for this shit.
We are new to this.
I've been dreaming of doing a podcast for years now.
If everybody can do it, then we can.
That's true. That's fair. Where's my drink?
Ugh.
Sipping that peppermint liquor.
So Caleb, I know you already, but I mean, you want to talk about yourself or?
I think we should talk about ourselves first. What? We're friends almost 11, 10 years now?
It's been over 10 years at least.
Yeah. We've been friends for like a while now.
A good bit. Like, well, we met in
We met at church.
Yeah, we met at church.
And then just
Kind of just hit it off from there. I mean, we were both nerds back then too, so
yeah. We both bonded over MCU stuff. Marvel.
big Marvel fans growing up.
Xbox fans too. Halo. What else did we play? Destiny.
Big into Destiny, Overwatch.
Some Fortnite here and there.
Fortnite when it was like
big.
When it was like early on.
Apex
too. Jesus.
We played a lot of games together.
A lot of games that died too. When you think about it, you don't hear people talking about Apex and stuff.
That's fair.
Anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we've been friends for a while now, and it's actually kind of crazy to say. Let's see. I think I met you in 2012, so 12 years or so, almost 13 going on.
Real.
We all both loved the MCU, but that's another topic. Both loved the MCU, both played video games together, practically grew up with each other. I kind of live a little bit ways from him, but me and him see each other like probably once or twice every week.
Before we could drive, at least.
Oh yeah.
Before, when we had like our parents driving us around.
That was darker times.
Can you imagine like being like how old we are and like having our parents drive us around places? Crazy. Like, oh hey, can you drop me off at Touch of Texas? Oh, and it's a Thursday. Yeah, I know. You get a job yet? No. You know?
You gotta pay rent.
And here we are trying to make it out of the cut.
Nah. We're going to jail.
Nah, we're good.
No.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, we're new. So we're new to this. Let's see. We've always wanted to live together. First off, get an apartment.
Yep.
Always wanted to. Or really, every single time we hang out, we really talk about like MCU, DC stuff.
We're constantly talking about like
just anything geek stuff. Practically. Yeah. We both play Dungeons and Dragons. I guess we should really mention this too, honestly, is us two hang out the most, but we also have a couple other friends.
Shout out Caden and Huck.
Shout out to Caden and Huck. They have also been there since basically day one. And we all met, Huck, Caden, Owen, me, all met at church, and we've all grown up together.
The founding fathers, if you will.
Yeah. You know, that church no longer is there. Shout out to Nick for bringing us together, because he's the one that organized the youth group a long time ago, and then got us all to meet up. But yeah, so all of us play Dungeons and Dragons. All of us are kind of like have our own little geek stuff that we like, but we all practically like the same stuff. Huck and Caden are more Lord of the Rings, D&D stuff. We're also D&D, but we're more like Marvel, DC.
If anything, I feel like Caden and Huck have like their own niches. I feel like they're not big into. They like the superhero stuff and like all that stuff, but they have like Huck likes anime a lot. Like the rest of us don't really like anime. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Huck does like anime, but
I wouldn't be able to pinpoint what Caden's
I
niche
just
is.
haven't been able to get into it. I've thought about getting into My Hero Academia because I heard if you like superheroes and stuff, you would like that, and you could just go forward and watching other stuff. But the farthest I'll go into anime so far has been Avatar, but some people count that as anime.
It's like a Western anime.
That's fair. I don't know.
Jujutsu Kaisen's good. I haven't finished it yet, so Huck put
Even
me on
then,
that, but
Owen knows that it's so hard for me to get into TV shows anyway. Like he's been
yeah.
getting me trying to get me to watch Breaking Bad, and like I really want to, but I just never have the time in between work and everything. So
Work's a bitch.
it is bitch.
What about
Let's see. You like all of our niches. You like Ninja Turtles.
oh, we like Ninja Turtles? I'm a big Ninja Turtles guy.
I'm a big Pokemon guy.
You are a big. He actually got me on my you got me my first Pokemon game that I ever played.
I did.
Pokemon
a long time
Moon.
ago. Pokemon Moon, I think.
That's the one
But
and
I've
only
been playing
Pokemon game that I
way
played.
before that.
Oh yeah.
I also
yeah.
like Beyblades and stuff like that too.
I wasn't big into Beyblade. I played a little bit of Bakugan back in the day.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh!
I did not play Yu-Gi-Oh! I played Magic the Gathering for like
A day.
yeah,
No,
in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
I just thought the cards were cool.
But you were into Ninja Turtles and other shit like that, but I wasn't really that much into that. I was more into like
You liked Voltron.
I do like Voltron.
You're a big Voltron guy.
Both of us like Transformers. Pretty big in Transformers.
Yeah, recently at my love for Transformers has been reignited.
Same.
I wasn't as I didn't like grow up on the movies like you did and stuff, but like it's definitely come back into my.
I grew up in movies and stuff all the time. I don't know. My dad always showed me the '80s movies and all that stuff. So, I remember he sat me down and I watched the whole first season of like 1984 or whatever, Voltron, which still peaked, by the way.
Still haven't watched it. Don't know if I will, but we'll see.
It's good.
I don't know.
All right.
Kind of like Power Rangers.
Voltron came before.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. Bro's shaking it instead of dabbing me up.
I thought we were being, civil. I didn't think we were
All
gonna. I mean, we could, whatever.
All right. Oh yeah, I guess we really didn't know where we wanted to go from here. We're
Test
recording. Recording on my phone with these mics, which are really really cool.
These mics are super cool. I feel like I'm in like a podcast studio right now with these on.
I mean, we don't have one of those mics that come down. And stuff,
yeah, like where you can like hold it.
For the most
That'd be
part,
cool.
We tried a podcast and we utterly failed with. I tried shooting with the camera like 2 years ago, and it was just.
What was it even on? Was it on a like a Kodiak camera?
Yeah, from Walmart for like $50. That shit sucked.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like a Kodiak camera or something. It was like, no offense to Kodiak cameras, they're good, but like if you want to do all right. Me and Owen and Huck was there at the same time. Filmed a 1 hour and like 20-minute long episode of our first podcast 2 years ago. However, come to find out that the camera only recorded like 25 minutes of it. So we had been talking there for 45 minutes with nothing recording. And I think that kind of low-key shut us down for a little bit.
I feel like it humbled us in a way. I feel like it taught us how to, maybe prepare more or like invest in more expensive gear. You know what I mean?
While I'm doing them.
Well, yeah, I could invest. Just trust.
All right.
I didn't ask you to buy the mics.
That's fair, but no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, practically we've been wanting to do this for ages. We're just trying to start small, I guess. We also are really big into. I think me and Owen are the biggest movie goers. And also
I'm a movie guy at heart. Like I could sit down and watch movies like for the rest of my life.
Same. For the last 2 or 3 years, I also just started getting to actually reading comics of all kind. He just started like a year ago. So we're also wanting to talk about that. We want to talk about like comic books, old and new.
We're
MCU.
new and excited comic enthusiasts.
What was it?
We're new and excited comic enthusiasts.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Enthusiasts.
Like we're reading. We discussed topics before this, and because we don't really know how we want to format all this, so we're just kind of going on the whim. But
Try not to fucking.
I mean, we talked about discussing Absolute Batman, which I enjoyed it, but it wasn't.
Oh really?
It wasn't something like
too
crazy for me.
Like out of 10.
Like
what would you give it?
Out of 10?
Out of 10, yeah. Or we'll do 5. We'll do 5.
3.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 3, like a flat 3.
That's fair.
But why would you give it a like? What are your opinions on it? Because everybody, like everything that I've seen about it, like people are praising it. Like people think it's like Batman's like reawakening in a way.
Well, that's the whole point of it, is to reawaken. Same with Ultimate Universe, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But
like,
I know you're a bigger Batman fan. So here's another thing. So Owen is more of a DC like Batman guy. I'm more of like Spider-Man practically. He has read basically every major point in like Batman comics, or have listened to Batman stuff.
Except for Nightfall.
From like Comic Historian. Shout out to him, by the way.
R.I.P. Comic Historian.
R.I.P. He was awesome. But I've also read and have listened to Spider-Man comics too.
I would say you like DC just as much too. I feel like we both have an even amount of love for each of those companies.
That's fair. Well, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'd say me and him have just now started reading like DC comics, but he's always been in the world of DC. You've always been a bigger Batman fan. It's just been like Batman, while everything.
Well, who wouldn't be? As a kid, at least, like you had like it was like Batman. It was like Batman, Hulk, Spidey, and Wolverine. Those are like the big ones.
That's fair. I never watched the Batman stuff back then, because
that's right. You never watched like
my parents
like not even the George Clooney movies and stuff, like the really campy like.
I thought Batman and Robin was the best shit ever when I was a kid.
That shit was like, as a kid, that's the best shit you'll ever watch.
But Batman as a superhero, it wasn't until Batman that Under the Red Hood, which probably top like 10 movies for me of all time.
I'd agree.
Until Batman ended up going underneath my catalog, because even then, like my parents, for some reason, they blocked out certain like channels. So
what about the Dark Knight though? Like that, like I mean, we have our own opinions on the Nolan trilogy as far as Batman goes, but like for me as a kid, that was what made me really like Batman. Same with like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That's what made me love Spider-Man.
Well, as a kid. Even then, I loved Spider-Man, but I never loved him. It wasn't until like Tom Holland started coming into the MCU that I remember when I saw Spider-Man 3 when I was smaller in theaters first day, but like just.
So you're saying you didn't really love Spider-Man until Tom Holland? Until like No Way Home Tom Holland?
Yeah.
You're saying you just kind of like, you liked Spider-Man?
I love him now.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying before.
Back then, I liked him. He was my favorite superhero, but I wasn't actually big in. My thing back then was Transformers. That's what I loved the most.
Wait, so you're saying before No Way Home came out, like Spider-Man was not like your number one everything? Like you liked them, but you didn't love them.
I liked superheroes, and I thought they were cool, but there was just a lot more other stuff in my mind that was cooler, like Transformers back then. I loved Transformers back then, and then like just the cartoon shows. Pokemon and Transformers are like top 2 up there, And then after that, after probably Pokemon Sun and Moon and Age of Extinction is when I started really going more into superheroes, and now I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Love Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. Doctor Doom. All that.
I've known you for 10 years and I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, yeah. I guess in a way that kind of makes me think too, because as a kid, it was never like there was never a number one of anything because it was always getting swapped out by something else.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's just as a kid because we don't have our attention spans aren't as crazy as they are now. But like back then, I was just like
In video games, by the way.
Video games too.
Video games were up there. I was like, superheroes just were always on the back for me for some reason. The more and more I think, I'm like, damn, superheroes really just, they were something I liked. Saw Andrew's movies when they first popped in the theater, saw the Avengers opening day and stuff, but it was never,
You were never passionate about it until
never passionate. I was just like, yeah, these are cool.
Man, that's crazy because I'm like way different. I feel like when I saw Iron Man, when I saw Iron Man 1
Or actually,
with Nick,
you saw
Nick and
Iron
Jo-
Man 1 with Nick?
yeah, with Nick and Jonah.
That's
My dad
crazy.
took us out. I know.
Way back then?
That was like my first interaction with like Jonah and Nick. That's what kind of got my dad and Nick to get the idea to do Vibe later down the line.
That's fair.
But that was like when I kind of was really I'm a sucker for underdog stories.
Well, I know that. Yeah.
Both of my a lot of my
Batman
favorite characters are underdogs. So that kind of really ignited because I like video games too. Because nowadays, like when it comes to video games, I hate getting on the video game.
I like getting on the video game when everyone else is on, but I don't really.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean like.
Speaking of which, actually, you know what?
What?
How about just flat out, off the top of your head, five of your favorite characters?
5 of my favorite characters?
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is gonna show how much he likes underdogs, because underdogs are like his thing. Speaking of which, Underdog is a decent movie.
Oh, I know you're not talking about the Disney movie.
Where he has a cape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who plays that? You know who plays Underdog?
No.
The Alvin and the Chipmunks dad.
Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that movie?
With Peter Dinklage? Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot Peter Dinklage was in that movie too.
We
should watch that.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I just now remembered, and I was like, holy shit, I remember I used to
I remember
watch
the
that,
song. I remember the song. Like it's in my head, but I can't remember how it goes.
Underdog.
Yes.
Underdog. That shit was fire.
But I don't remember the plot of the movie at all. I don't remember how it goes. I think we should watch that
He
at some
gets
point.
his powers taken away or something like that. He gets powers like Superman, then gets powers taken away.
Right, but I don't know how I don't know how the whole movie goes.
Well, top 5 characters off the head.
You want to do 5 me 5 then you 5, or do you want to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Or wait, no, 5, 5, 4, 4. I'll just do 5. I'm making it complicated.
I'm making sure the phone just doesn't stop recording randomly.
That's fair. I've been kind of just pretending that it's not there.
That's fair. Go ahead.
All right. 5's a little bit niche. Ford Stone.
That's from Critical Role, by the way.
Critical Role.
Shout out.
Shout out Critical Role. I love Critical Role. Number 4 would probably have to be Ben Grimm, the Thing, from the Fantastic Four.
All right.
3 is not really an underdog. Well, sometimes Optimus Prime.
All right.
This is where it gets tricky because 2 and 1 kind of switch. I would say right now 2 is Iron Man, 1 is Batman, but sometimes it's 2 Batman, 1 Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
For me at least. That's my top 5 as of right now. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. If I could do a top 10, I could fucking I love Zuko from Avatar. He's an honorable mention. I love Zuko. Shit, yeah.
Leo.
Daredevil, Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle, best Ninja Turtle.
No.
Just throwing it out there.
All right.
You go ahead, give me your top 5. Because your top 5 is all over the place.
Yeah.
You got some wacky ass top 5s. Good, valid top 5s, but like, you know what I mean?
So number 5 is Soundwave. Transformers.
Which is a huge W. Favorite Decepticon, for sure.
Your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Starscream or some shit.
Fuck no. I can't be too big. I can't say Megatron's my favorite because Optimus Prime's already my favorite Autobot,
That's
so,
right.
you know.
So
5 Soundwave.
Soundwave. Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
We're on number 3, right? Number 3.
Yep, 3.
Number 3 is probably Moon Knight. 2, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. And number 1, Spider-Man. But honorable mention probably has to go to Godzilla or
fuck, good one.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler's a good one, too.
That's another thing. I watched every single Godzilla movie back then.
Not a big... I mean, I like Kong. I was more of a Kong guy. Like, I saw the Jack Black King Kong, and I saw the King of the Monsters... Or not King of the Monsters, Skull Island.
Luke Skywalker's up there, too.
I was surprised not to see Luke Skywalker on there. Because Obi-Wan used to be up there for me, but, like... That's a whole other topic with Star Wars, man.
That's fair.
That's like
It's
a
all
whole
over the place.
fucking...
Well,
So I got a question for you real quick.
what?
Do you ever think that... Also, no Doctor Doom?
Doctor Doom is up there. I can't see that. Top 5 changes like a lot, but Spider-Man, Moon Knight, and Kyle are always going to be up there.
You think they'll always be in the same spots? You don't think they'll ever move around at all?
Man, that Ron Mars run that I read was just life-changing.
You got to do a lot of convincing to get me to read Green Lantern, man.
He makes electric chairs and shit.
I don't know. I just... The whole, like... This shit, I don't know. That's just a me thing.
That's fair. All right.
But you're saying you know, like, you don't think that they'll ever... Those 3 will ever swap, like, Kyle Rayner will be number 1 at one point or anything?
No, because from my knowledge, like I said, I've been also just now reading DC stuff. So I'm still kind of fresh in getting there, but from my knowledge, it seems like they don't really use Kyle anymore that much. So, which,
I mean,
by
that's
the way,
fair.
shout out to Trevor if he ever sees this, because he's the one who really got me into reading comics. But, yeah, it just seems like Kyle had that long run for like 7 years, and then Jeff Johns brought all the older characters back. It seems like he was in Jeff Johns' like Green Lantern a little bit, but like overall, he's not in there anymore. So I think he'll always stay there. Daredevil gets up there though for me, because
I would say Daredevil's an honorable mention for me. I love Daredevil.
Nightcrawler to me too. I love Nightcrawler.
Daredevil.
So I think it's safe to say you like underdogs, and I like charismatic, like everyday people.
Another thing I'm surprised is not on your list is Superman.
Superman was the one superhero that I did like back then was Superman. I watched Superman.
And he's not in your top 5? He's in your top 10.
He's top 10. But Superman, like...
You like hopeful characters, too. I mean, I guess we both kind of like hopeful characters, but
yeah,
you have more hopeful.
I think the character that resembles me the most, though, is Kyle.
I'd agree. From what you've told me about him, I would agree with that. I don't know much about him, but you're a creative person.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Love you, bro. Not gonna say it back? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love you.
All right. W. All right.
Well, we're kissing off camera.
Yep. We're gonna explore each other.
What? What? All right.
Oh shit.
Oh shit! You fucking asshole. All right. Well, where do we go from here?
Do you want to talk about Ultimates,
Yeah.
or do
So
you
we
want to talk
did.
about like MCU stuff?
Excuse me. Sorry. Uh, I'm just now getting over like a cold virus thing. Uh, I mean, we could talk
Let's do
about really
Ultimates.
anything, huh?
Let's do Ultimates.
Yeah. So, as the day of recording this, we are now, I think, basically a year into the Ultimate Universe,
5 issues into like the
to the
actual
Ultimates.
to the
I've
actual
read.
run.
So, just out of context here, I have been reading Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman, and I've also been reading the Ultimates, and I read Ultimate Invasion and Ultimate Universe. He's only read Ultimate Invasion and Ultimates. But I think we both get the general thesis and knowledge that the Maker has one more year until he arrives.
Excuse me.
But yeah,
Not even a year, right? It's like I think issue 5 said it was 6 months.
I'm not sure. I just know that he'll be coming in like a year's time because
Yeah.
they gave him 2 years.
Right.
So, comic wise, then, how do we feel about the Ultimate Universe so far?
So one thing I gotta ask you real quick before we get into this, because you praised Ultimate Spider-Man 1
Mhm.
as being, a lot of people praised it. Like the comic cover, the comic itself is worth like graded. It's like
Like $130.
$130. Like it's a
I have
cool ass
like
cover. Don't
3
get
of
me
the
wrong.
different covers.
Which is a cool idea, by the way. Like having like the same cover but like different suits. That's a cool idea. Anyway, I remember you, because obviously you started reading the Ultimate stuff before me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really pick up to Ultimates 1, but you praised Ultimate Spider-Man 1, and then as the issues came out, you slowly, instead of you hyping it up and like talking good about it, it's like a shoulder shrug now.
That's
So
fair.
I'm kind of curious about like how did it go from like being the best of the best to like it's all right, or even worse. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about the most recent one.
First, I know a lot of people are probably going to get mad at that.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's what we're here for. Opinions.
That's fair. So to me, now Spider-Man's my favorite character. But I know people have been reading him longer than I've been alive, and a lot of people have been reading comics before me. So let's factor this into it for a second. So a lot of these people have been reading Dan Slott's, Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, basically where it's all the same stuff, where it's like he breaks up with MJ, then he's not.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat, basically, for about 20 years now. I just started reading. Basically, I read Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man, read Dan Slott's Spider-Man, a little bit of Nick Spencer's Spider-Man. I've read J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man. I've read J.M. Damastis' Spider-Man, which is good. Still need
The
to
one that
read.
came out in the I think it was in the 90s, or after that, or the early 2000s. The one that you really love, the one that made you cry.
Yeah, was
That
JMS.
who is that?
That's J. Michael Straczynski's.
J.
Where like
Michael
Uncle Ben
Straczynski's.
comes back for like 5 minutes.
That's you. That's your shit, right? Like that's like
kind of looking back on it, there were some flaws, but yeah, I'd say Ultimate Spider-Man by 2000 by Bendis is my favorite.
So you're a cultured Spider-Man guy. You know you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, played Insomniac Spider-Man and all that. I think the issue for me is, and by the way, I do love Jonathan Hickman's stuff. I've read Fantastic Four, somewhat of his Avengers. I listened to Comic Explained, shout out by the way. He probably will never see this, but I listened to his whole Jonathan Hickman X-Men, which is just fantastic. But to me, I have gotten a sense that So everyone has been wanting MJ and Peter just to be like Peter to grow up. It's almost like Batman and DC, where it seems like Batman
He's the same.
rarely ages,
Yeah.
but has had like 16 different Robins. That's metaphorically, but 16 different Robins. But it's like Spider-Man has basically been like almost 25 practically, when he should be like 35 by now at least, and he should at least be married with MJ, to be honest. But or just married in general, I guess, since one more day happened. So factoring into that, a lot of people have been reading these issues once a month for the last 20 years. Meanwhile, I have the comic right there in front of me, so I can just go skim through it. So it doesn't have as much weight probably as some other Spider-Man fans out there.
Right.
But to me, Ultimate Spider-Man was great for the first like 3 or 4 issues. But I just think now I haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man, I think issue 10, which just came out this week yet.
You said it came out yesterday, right?
Yeah. I like issue 10 or 11, I can't remember. Maybe 9. I think issue 10. But already in like almost 2 arcs done, I think that it's not Ultimate Spider-Man anymore. It's Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. Like, to me, it's not Spider-Man's book. It's not Peter's book. And another thing is, it feels like and I told you this before off. To me,
You told me about the Harry stuff, yeah.
To me, it feels like it's MCU Spider-Man, where he's always around somebody.
He's always got a sidekick, or he's always got somebody that's with him. He's not
he
doing
can
it by
never just
himself.
grow alone. And I know that there's probably gonna be like a big thing where Harry and him split, because it's like those seeds planting to get there. But the thing is, it's just like anytime Peter has been in the suit, he's basically been with Harry. He's never been alone, at least. And I just wish we got a full arc first and let Harry be in the background, kind of as this character who has a masking presence, and then we would get this big relationship with him and the fall off. But it feels like we just got like 2 or 3 issues of Peter learning his powers, and we don't like Peter's usually known to be like a scientist.
He's smart. Like, he's a smart person.
But we haven't really gotten that. Like, I don't know if this Peter is a scientist or not. I don't know. Again, Aunt May died in that. Remember when the Maker and his team did the laser?
When they blew up
a bunch of people.
They killed Howard Stark.
Yeah, and they killed Aunt May. Aunt May has never been mentioned, other than like issue 1. But other than that, it doesn't even feel like it really affects Peter at all. Like, they don't really Jonathan Hickman doesn't really go into detail about like, it's like, Aunt May died. Uncle Ben's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to move on from this, and that's it.
Get over it. That's basically what they're telling you.
Not exactly, but
get over Aunt May's death.
I mean, yeah, to Uncle Ben. It's cool seeing Uncle Ben alive and stuff, because Peter just got these powers. But it's just like, I want, when I pick up a Spider-Man book, I want Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's best things is like his relationships with his characters and his supporting cast, like MJ, Harry, Gwen, Jonah, JJJ, even his villains and stuff. But it just feels like Harry is literally a co-lead with Spider-Man and not a supporting member. It just feels like we don't really get that much Spider-Man being himself. And it just kind of sucks, because I absolutely adored like the first 3 or 4 issues where it was just Spider-Man, but and he was learning his powers, and like he was swinging into buildings because he couldn't really adjust how fast he was. And another thing is, like, I feel like a lot of stuff has been anticlimactic. Like, it seemed like it seemed like Hickman was building to this big thing where, like, only his daughter knew Peter's identity. At, like, issue 3 or 4, his daughter finds out that he's Spider-Man by accident. And I was like, oh man, like, this is going to be a cool moment. But within by, like, 2 or 3 issues after that, his whole family knows.
There's no weight to it at all.
No. And then also, and there's no, like, MJ is like, oh, you're Spider-Man? That's cool, you know. Like, there's no, like, could this hurt the family or anything like that?
No concern.
No. It's just like, you're Spider-Man? Well, you know, and, like, they flirt and stuff like that, and he takes her out swinging, which was a cool...
She
like,
gives him the name Spider-Man, right, in this universe? Like, she's the one who comes up with the idea.
Yeah, and it's cool. And there's just one little comic panel where it's, like, her and him swinging together, and that comic panel where it's her and him swinging together, or him crashing into buildings, or him trying to learn how to joke around with his villains, like with I think it was Shocker in the first, like, second or third issue. It was like, mwah. And then it's like, I love Harry so far as a character, but to me, it's just like, I don't know. It's just Ultimate Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. It's not Ultimate Spider-Man. And not only that, in issue 6, they fought Kingpin, but it was only for a split second.
And he was on the cover, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kingpin?
And then he just left. They just left. They fought him, and then they're like, you know, we're gonna take Kingpin down. They fought him. Kingpin absolutely wrecked them, and they just went back and they're like, man, that really sucked, didn't it? And that was it.
Goofy owl writing.
Nah, I mean, it's not goofy. Like,
well, the way you just worded it sounded like, oh man.
I'm really paraphrasing a lot of this stuff, but for the most part, and with the gist of it, it's just like, I really like the first 3 or 4 issues, and then it just feels like anytime Pete's in the suit, he's with Harry, and it just seems like we can never get him away just for a second to be Spider-Man on his own, just for a little bit. So, but I guess that's my only problem. I'm sure it's going to be better, but I already told Owen, like, I'm going to still read it, but if, you know, depending on how the end of this arc may go, I might just start collecting it in trade paperbacks, and not buying the single issues.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Now for Ultimates, I still kind of really like it. It's not the greatest thing, but I still really like it, especially that She-Hulk issue. She-Hulk issue is great.
It's up and down.
But for you, why do you not like it? Because I know you've said...
Well, because I fucking loved the first issue. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I even loved all the prelude shit. Like, having, like... I was a little worried when I heard it was going to be Iron Lad. Yeah, I'll get a sip of that. Just because I'm not a big fan of Iron Lad. But it is still... It's Tony Stark. It's just not... He's not... It's Teenager.
Armored Avengers, Tony Stark, basically.
Which is a peak-ass show, by the way.
It is peak. Although the animation is kind of dated, but still.
Dated, but still a good show. So I really liked, and like it's kind of biased, but like I like Iron Man. So and he's like co-leading the new Avengers lineup, or Ultimates is what they're called.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. And I was kind of hoping it was going to be like building the team and like getting to see those team members in the next issues. Like we get to like, it all started at issue 2. I was like, okay, cool. We got Cap. We're going to get some stuff with him. I'm not a big Captain America fan. That's a whole other thing. But I was excited to see what they did with Cap. And then they bring in America Chavez in the same issue. And also, not to mention, I completely forgot about this. Ant-Man and the Wasp were introduced in issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
and we have not seen anything with them, and we're on issue 5.
That's fair.
Same with America Chavez got introduced at the end of issue 2. Nowhere to be seen. Mentioned, I think, in either 5 or 4. 4 is its own thing because 4 was basically just like a Doom centered comic. It was like how he became, which I like. I like Ultimate Doom. I think that's a cool idea. But for me, it's just kind of been like issue 3 too. It's like we know that She-Hulk exists and she wants to join the Ultimates, but we're not seeing her. It's just kind of like, stop introducing all these cool characters and let me see the characters.
That's fair.
Like, I don't want to. I like Iron Man, but like the fact that he's the only character who's consistently showing up in each of these issues, and none of the other Ultimates are showing up. Like, we just got introduced to Ultimate Hawkeye, who, by the way, was badass in my opinion. I thought they were badass. Probably not going to see them in issue 6. I've just accepted that. I feel differently about like, because DC and Marvel have been doing like the same thing, kind of in a way, with their recent events or their recent like alternate universe teams. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like how you are with Ultimate Spider-Man, where it's just like, I'll finish out the arc with issue 6 when it comes out in like November. And if it's shit, I'm going to buy the rest in trade. I'm not going to keep showing up to the comic book store and getting a comic that introduces a character and I never see it again.
That's fair. I really like the self-contained stories that they're doing. It seems like She-Hulk one is still my favorite. Honestly, it's probably like one of my favorite issues that ever came out this year, just because how good it was.
I agree. It was very it was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah.
It was very compelling. I like the change to her. God bless you.
Excuse me. Thanks.
I like the change to her origin and how she's like a oh shit. She's
from
Samoan?
Like, I think she's from like Hawaii or something.
Yeah, but I think
I'm
she's
not
like
trying to-
Samoan.
It's been
maybe.
a while since I read it, but I just remember all the and it shows that all the Gamma people didn't just survive. Like, they had bad things happen.
They had like bad mutations and shit.
And they're being used as experiments.
Yeah.
Like the Hulk is a gamma radiated person is testing on these people, and that's insane. Like, it was insane and it was sad, but it was also honestly, She-Hulk and Iron Lad and Doctor Doom are my favorite characters, and I might not buy the single issues just because I have a lot more on my pull list, but I'm also kind of there with you where it's like I feel like they keep on bringing in different characters. And again, it's almost kind of like the MCU right now, where I feel like they just keep on bringing in.
They make their cast so big, and then they just only focus on 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, but like, I also agree that it feels like they just keep on bringing in stuff, and I mean, from the further future issues that it looks like we're gonna have a mainline focused team, but at the same time it's like you can only focus on so many characters where it ends up becoming you have to keep on pushing other characters to the side.
Like, the team's already starting to get a little big. You've got
Yeah.
Iron Lad, Thor, Lady Sif, Ant-Man, Wasp, Cap, America Chavez, Doctor Doom, She-Hulk. Did I already say She-Hulk? I didn't say She-Hulk, did I?
No, I don't think.
She-Hulk and Hawkeye now. That's 10 people. Compared to like...
And the same thing, it's like, so Ultimate Wolverine was announced today.
Which looks
really cool in my opinion. Winter Soldier turned into Wolverine, something like that. But still, it's like, you can only... And it looks like, I mean, I only took a look at it once when you mentioned it a while ago, where it was like Hawkeye, America Chavez, Iron Lad, Cap, I think, and Hawkeye, and it was like those guys. But it's like, what are you going to do with? I think they're supposed to announce another Ultimate book, but to me, it's like, what are you supposed to do with those other characters? Like, I feel like Thor's just there, he was
Well, to
was
be fair,
prison,
he was wounded too, wasn't he? In like issue 2 or the first issue.
something like that. But at the same time, it's
Sif
like,
doesn't need to be there, in my opinion.
yeah, she's just kind of there to me.
Like what? I mean, like
I Ant-Man and the Wasp looked like they might have been cool. Feels like I don't know. To me, again, it just feels like I know this whole universe is
we
new.
could get another thing too. We could get Ultimate Spider-Man on the team too. That could be a possibility.
That's fair. I don't know, but like for me, I'm also the same way. I still like the stories. A lot of people have said that it's I haven't read Jonathan Hickman's Avengers. I'm trying to read his Fantastic Four and then um, read his Avengers run, and then Secret Wars, obviously. But it from a lot of people, it sounds like they describe it as Jonathan Hickman's Avengers run, where it's inter introducing concepts through people, and to me, it's like that could be cool, but there's a lot of payoff that has to be there, and I'm more of a character guy, so it's like,
My characters need to have depth.
yeah.
Like they can't just be like, here's the character backstory. That's it. There's got to be like a drive,
And
or
yeah. So my thing is, we're a year away from the Maker.
also another thing. I don't know if I'm just a dumbass and I didn't pick up on it. How is the Hulk gonna get out for issue 6? Because aren't they all trapped? Or is it just the Maker that's trapped in the time thing?
I don't know.
Because like the Illuminati and the Maker were all in that building.
I think just the Maker. I'm not sure, but either way, it's like no, because remember, the Illuminati showed up in issue 1 of the Ultimates.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a
So I
dumbass.
think
Never
it's
mind.
just the Maker, but the Maker and like Kang were trapped together. But the thing is like, so we're a year into this Ultimate Universe, and right now, to me, I'm starting to feel iffy because it feels like they, and again, I'm an optimist, so things could be really good, but if we're only like 10 months away from the Maker to coming out, I'm expecting probably like an Ultimate Universe event, honestly, or something. I feel like that because across the board they're mentioning it. It feels like there might have been an issue with them putting a label on the fact that the Maker is coming out in 2 years.
They gave it a timeline.
They gave, and I feel like it's like, no, this is happening in 2 years, guys. Keep on reading, but it feels like I don't know where it's gonna go, to be honest.
Or how long? Like how long
How
it'll
all of
be.
this is gonna end up being connected. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with Spider-Man's book. I tried getting to Black Panther. I just haven't been able. It seems interesting. I've only read it up to issues 2,
I think I'm
but
gonna
there's
get the
like,
trade for that and try and read it.
yeah,
Same with the
there's
X-Men.
there's so much going on right now. Like, I'm picking up a bunch of DC stuff, reading a bunch of backlog stuff, old omnibuses, and all that different stuff. So I just don't
I'm
have
just
enough
personally
money.
more hyped for DC's future
All
right
in,
now.
all in, or just in
All in or
general.
just in general.
That's fair.
Like with all the stuff with the movies coming out and like shows and just James Gunn in general, I have a lot more of a reason to invest in DC's stuff than I do Marvel. Just because Marvel's just kind of like on the rocks.
Which I guess I can go into our next
It's a good
topic.
segue. See what I did there?
Yeah.
I did that. I built that bridge.
All right.
I did that. I'm
You're
like that.
You're not cool off camera, and you're not cool on camera. So
All right, yeah, I
I
get it.
suggest you stop.
Yep, fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
All right. So the MCU. How is our feelings towards it?
Oh, Jesus. Where to begin? Where to begin?
Or really DC, I guess. First.
You want to start with DC?
Let me start with DC.
I'm all in.
I'm all in. I am all in.
I believe in James Gunn.
Me too.
Hashtag believe in James Gunn.
Me and him have been hyping up Superman for a long time now.
Low-key James Gunn Glazers, but
We are James Gunn Glazers.
for
but
the right
still.
reasons.
My favorite film by him is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I know a lot of people kind of are like, that's his weakest film. To me, I think a lot of people forget that Yondu's death
It had a lot of heart.
had a lot of heart. I think
All three of the movies did, but like that one had a lot.
it was really colorful. I think James
Music.
Gunn just really knows how to like bring the heart out of all these characters. Hell, Suicide Squad, in just one movie, like
Blew the other one out of the water.
Remember King Shark sitting on the bus and he's just looking at people and he sees like he generally looks sad because he's a shark. He can't.
I remember thinking
Polka
about
Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
I'm a fucking superhero. Then dies.
Was the best character of the movie.
I agree. I love Polka Dot Man.
I will say though, I didn't like Bloodsport that much.
I liked all of them.
I liked all of them too, but like Bloodsport was
in the end,
like...
to me, James Gunn has just shown that he has been able to take comic characters, put a little new spin on them, and still give them depth and heart.
And be faithful to them. Faithful to their source material.
So I've just been, and how about we talk about Marvel and DC at the same time? For me, Marvel, and we talked about this earlier, if you asked me 3 years ago if Marvel, if you asked me 3 years ago which projects I was excited for, I'd say all of them. But now, today, there's like 2 projects for me that I like.
There's only one for me.
And it's Daredevil Born Again and Fantastic Four.
Forgot about Daredevil Born Again, not gonna lie.
In the end, it's just like, to me, I really want Marvel to do good. I watched basically every single Marvel movie in theaters opening day. Saw Endgame opening day, Infinity War, No Way Home, Iron Man 1, like all of those opening day. But it just feels like, to me, my biggest issue, I know yours is multiverse. I think that's what it is. But for me, or I'll let you really go into that, but for me, personally, it feels like they just keep on adding characters and never doing anything with them, except for a select few. Like I've told you a million times, I really would like to know like what's going on with Moon Knight and what's going on with Shang-Chi. And even some of the Eternals, I like. I know a lot of people didn't like Eternals, but I thought it was okay. I like Makari in there. I like Makari. I mean, he's dead. I like Icarus. I like Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh
Kingo,
is also dead.
Gemma Chan's character, I forget her. I also want to know where's Black Knight. I know he's supposed to be with Blade, but I don't even know if that's being... Huh?
That ain't happening.
It's just like, I feel like they keep on introducing all
Blade.
these... Yeah, whatever.
Bye-bye.
I just feel like they keep on introducing these characters and never doing anything with them. And then it's like, hey, you're supposed to get excited for Doomsday and Secret Wars and Cameo and stuff. It's like, I know a lot of people are going to probably piss and cancel on me for this, but like, I love Tobey Maguire. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but when people are like, imagine them meeting, it's like, okay, cool. But to me, it's like, can I be honest? Can we just put those characters in the past?
I agree.
Like, they're great. A lot of the Hugh Jackman, Spider-Man, Wesley Snipes, Blade started a lot of these comic movies now, and were the groundworks. But to me, it's like they've had their swan song. Hugh's played for a while now.
20-some years.
Yeah. Toby has been playing, and like they all got their swan song. It's just like, I would like to get back, not necessarily to grounded MCU, but I would like to get back just to like, what's going on in the world right now. I know we have still MCU projects coming out.
Hopefully some that'll give us like an idea of what's going on in the world.
Daredevil Born Again looks like that, like what's going on with New York. Cap 4 is addressing the Eternal situation. Thunderbolts, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it looks fun.
Probably who bought the Avengers Tower and stuff.
It was Val, I think. But anyways,
that wasn't
it's, like, it's giving us a little bit of a continuation. But overall, it's just like, I wish we got back to Civil War stages of Grounded, where it's like, I wish we just focused on these amount of characters, and I don't know. It just seems like Marvel is trying to reel everyone in with their past legacy characters, which all the respect to them. I
It
love
works.
it does, but at the same time, it's just like even to me, and he knows this because we saw Deadpool and Wolverine together. When I came out, I told him it was like a good film, but I don't think it really added anything to the MCU at all.
I
It's
loved
like
it.
that's what I'm looking for. It's something I'm looking for MCU content that actually adds to the MCU. Like for Infinity War and Endgame, Thanos was built up in different movies. He was kind of like a second roaming threat in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 there, and he was the precursor to Avengers 1, where he basically gave Loki the army and all that. He was just a overwhelming presence there. And it just feels like I don't think you can do like Doctor Doom in just 2 movies and be like, oh, everyone has to. We don't even know who's in the Avengers. Is there even Avengers? What even happened to Cap? Like, yeah,
Well, he's old.
he's old, but it's like they never mentioned it. Where's Moon Knight? Where's Shang-Chi? Some people can say they don't like the Eternals and stuff, but where are they? A lot, like they half of them split up. I guess I think, like,
Half of them were kidnapped. Half of them.
yeah, like I don't know. It's just like, to me, it feels like um Marvel. And again, I really want them to do well, but it just seems like Marvel. Uh, Honestly, in my opinion, it seems like Marvel just knows that their multiverse thing has been a mixed bag. It seems like they're just trying to get it through so they could probably get to like X-Men and stuff and all of that. Um, but what about you? What's your
Oh boy. Um.
issue?
So Iron Man again is like one of my favorite characters of all time, strictly because of Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal and the movies, which is what really like. I mean, Iron Man in the old comics and stuff, he was a dick. He was an alcoholic. Um, he was just not fun to read at all. So I didn't really read him growing up, but I did watch like all the movies with Robert Downey Jr. Like I was in the seats for Robert Downey Jr. And then Endgame came around, and then I was like, okay, so my favorite character in this universe is dead, but I can't just not because I had other favorites, so I can't just like back out because my character's not there because a real fan wouldn't do that or whatever. That's so fucking cringe. But for me, I feel the MCU.
Can I add one more thing while you're,
Yeah, go ahead.
because you just made me realize another thing that had you just made me realize this is I also had favorites, but it feels like the MCU just character degrades these people. Like Thor, he went all the way back to how he was in Thor 1, where he was unserious and like didn't really
The Russos
care.
gave him such a good character arc, and then it's just
Yeah,
it's gone.
like Hulk, like that Professor Hulk. A lot of people didn't like Professor Hulk to begin with. I thought there was some storytelling that could be done there.
Gone.
Gone.
Or turned to shit.
Like maybe he might be in Cap 4 because Red Hulk's there. But anyway, back to you. Like character degrade.
I mean, there's no heart. There's there. It's kind of like what you said with like how um we have so many characters in this universe and like only a select few of them are really getting like time to shine. And it's just kind of like I mean that's how comics are. There's like thousands of characters and it's hard to like give each character like their shining moment. But like those first three phases were just like a gold mine. And that's also in part to like the actors and stuff who like the original six Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hmm.
Um, like they were all just they were charismatic and they put people in the seats because like they had character growth and they felt like actual characters instead of just superheroes. Like they were
There
humans.
was a yeah, I agree. There was a formula to these things, but at the same time, each story had its own unique thing, but they all had heart,
They all had
and they
heart.
all had you. Each character was different from one another.
Exactly. There
I
was
feel like today. Or sorry for interrupting, but I feel
no, go
like
ahead.
today every character has to quip. Every character is like some comedian, basically.
I mean, that's not one of my biggest issues with how the MCU is. That's just like a mild thing. I think the real biggest issue is that these characters are just not.
Given enough time to shine.
They're just not. I don't really care. I really don't really care about them.
That's fair.
Um, I think with me, I really started to lose. Like, I really started to like not really be. I remember like, excuse me, being excited about like going to see an MCU movie. Like it was an event to
Hmm.
go to an MCU movie. Like you had to get opening tickets. You had to be there opening night. And these past couple of movies, besides maybe like Deadpool and Wolverine and No Way Home, the past couple of ones, it's like it's okay if I don't see it opening day. It's okay if I don't see it the week after. It's okay if I don't see it at all, and I wait for it to come to streaming. That's a whole other thing too. I genuinely think what has killed my love for the MCU is Disney Plus. I think there has been like for me at least there's been like one good Disney Plus show, and all the rest of them I really don't really care about.
That's fair.
And they took the focus away from the screen to the TV shows, and it was like we have to have this many TV shows, we have to have this many movies. It was like rush, 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 rush. And I think now they're kind of getting the idea that like we need to slow down and like quality over quantity.
Hmm.
But it's still just like all the stuff that I keep hearing about James Gunn and like the love that he has for these characters that he's working on, all this Superman stuff, like everything that he's doing with DC. It reminds me of how early MCU was with how these people, Kevin Feige even, cared about these characters and their relationships and their growth in that universe.
Not to mention, he's also a director, so he's written these things. So
He's got experience.
he has experience. He's not just a producer. No shame to Kevin Feige. I think he's great at what he does, but it's just I feel like there's just something different when you have someone who's actually like taken the time to write these scripts over and over
He's made some of the
and
best
direct.
like comic book movies of all time.
Yeah,
So if you can't have faith in it, like I am 90% sure that Superman will be like one of like a reawakening of the superhero genre. I feel like I'm 90% sure. I'm 10% sure that like if it fails, then like we're cooked. Because I mean, I'll stick around and see how Batman does because I'm there for Batman. But like Marvel, Marvel came out of the gate blasting with Iron Man. Like that movie did good. I mean, it wasn't like a fucking amazing movie. I mean, I think it is, but the first movie's got to be good, otherwise people aren't going to get invested. And
that's
so for
fair.
me, I'm also another thing too is like I grew up more on Marvel and knowing a lot more about Marvel than I did DC. But with DC now that it's like we're getting a universe, we're getting comics, we're getting video games, TV shows, I get to learn about these characters again. I get to like not know everything. And I kind of hate that's what I kind of hate about Marvel is like people could ask me something. I don't know everything about Marvel, but like I have a pretty
Standard good version.
vast knowledge of Marvel stuff. DC, I'm like kind of new in it, so I know nothing about the Flash, Green Lantern. I know my Batman shit. That's about it. Everybody else, it's like I don't really know. So this James Gunn DC universe is kind of
Mm.
um, made
New
me
ex-
excited to learn about these characters. Marvel just doesn't have that for me, and like we've talked about it, like sure Robert Downey Jr. is back, but Jesus Christ, that could either be
the worst thing or the best.
it could be the best thing that Marvel does, and it could save them from completely just shit in the bed, or it could be the worst thing ever, and Marvel will never be the same again. And I think we both
I've
said it. If
I
me personally, if Fantastic Four is not good, I'm signing off. I can't do it. We've had so many Fantastic Four interpretations. Fan Four Stick was ass. The original one was all right. Like, if they don't get this right, it's ass. I'm not investing. I'm not gonna. They could bring back Iron Man.
I think I will always still be invested in the MCU because I just have so much love for it and heart for it. I've grown up with it. But at the same time, with you, I'm already kind of like just not. I see the ones now, like you said, everything was an event, but now I just cherry pick which ones I want to see.
Save my money. Movie theaters are expensive now too. I
That's
can't
not that's
afford to
not a
go.
problem for me because I go to movie theaters. I go to movie theaters like at least every other week or once a week. But at the end of the day, for me,
Mm,
it's just like cherry. I cherry pick the movies that I want to see and the ones I don't. And at the end of the day, it's just like if Fantastic Four is not good, then I probably will see the Avengers movie just to see like how it ends up. Just to see how it ends up because for Doctor Doom.
I'll pirate
uh, there goes podcast.
it.
But for me, it's just like I cherry pick the ones I want to see, and if Fantastic Four isn't good, then I will probably only watch the movies for Doctor Doom, and to see maybe like what could happen in the MCU moving forward, because I know that the multiverse will be shutting down, and like I just said, going back to regular universe world stakes is what I've been wanting. But at the same time, it's like honestly, if well, first off, if Fantastic Four is is bad, and also the Avengers movies are bad, or just the Avengers movies are bad, I think even if Fantastic Four is bad and the Avengers, and I think a lot of people are still gonna watch the Avengers movies, but if the Avengers movies are bad and if the even if Fantastic Four is good, if the Avengers movies are bad, you're gonna have to be like DC and reboot everything after a few years.
I mean, like,
I feel like we're actually entering territory with Marvel where it was the DCEU when like Shazam was coming out, where it's like people are like, you know,
here's this, here's this, here's this.
and they're like, I'll go see Wonder Woman, but I'm probably not gonna go see Shazam. You know,
It's
and
also like there's so much shit that you have to like do homework on with the Marvel universe to know what's
nowadays,
going
yeah,
on. You have to watch like maybe some of the shows you don't really need to watch, but like to know the overarching like what's going on, you have to watch this shit show and you got to watch 6 episodes of it. You got to watch this shit show and watch 7 episodes of it. You got to watch
mm.
this movie for 2.5 hours to get like to the post credit scene. And I guess you could just look all this up, but
Another thing,
like,
what's going on with Beast in the post?
well, that's like an alternate universe.
That's what I'm saying. It's like honestly, I'm actually
Fuck the
excited.
multiverse.
I'm actually excited for the Fantastic Four because I think I would care about the multiverse more if I got to know these characters, like Into the Spider-Verse does, where all those characters they come from unique backgrounds, and you actually like delve into their origins and stuff. I'm excited to see what this alternate universe is like, and stuff like that. But when you just thread it and show me something like Doctor Strange, where it's like, you know, 868 or whatever, 838, Earth 838 or whatever. Oh, the Illuminati dies after 5 minutes. Stuff. It's like, am I supposed to care? It's like, am I supposed to care that like it's just I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me.
No, that's
But
fair. I mean, I feel the same way. I just, again, like the Fantastic Four, like if you're gonna have the main villain be Doom in the Avengers movies, the Fantastic Four like have to be good.
yeah, Well, I'm also excited. I haven't really talked about DC a lot, but I'm also really excited for James Gunn's DC.
I'm so fucking excited. I'm ready. I'll be there opening day.
I will be there opening day. I'll be there for Superman. I'm most excited for Superman, Lanterns, and Swamp Thing. And Batman, but I still need to know a little bit more about Batman.
Yeah, we don't have a lot
we
about
already
Batman.
have Robert Pattinson as Batman. But I guess, kind of to wrap things up, Transformers. We saw Transformers 1 not too long ago. We're both reading
Fucking
Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers comic.
both peak. Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers is like my favorite run right now that I'm reading.
You can tell he watched the G1
So
show.
fucking good. The art's good. The writing's good. They made Optimus, not a fucking
War criminal.
psychopath war criminal. He's like gentle and like he's still a leader and he's learning how to be a leader. And I eat that shit up. I love that.
Oh yeah.
And Transformers 1.
He gives arcs to like smaller characters. Beachcomber.
Yeah, Beachcomber, who like nobody. I mean, the really obsessed Transformers fans, they have like
know him. Beachcomber, Soundwave. You don't get like Soundwave. You don't really get a lot of things for him, but he is. Okay, let's start with here. So, I like the Michael Bay movies as robots hitting shit. But if you ask me, I'm not trying to say, oh, if you like them, you're not a Transformers fan. But for someone who watched the G1 series growing up, because my dad, like I said earlier here, my dad made me watch like old Voltron and all that stuff. For someone who watched G1 Transformers growing up as a kid, now rewatching these films. To be honest, they're nothing like the G1 Transformers.
Michael Bay's movies are disaster films. You can even like the Decepticons are made to look scary and alien. That's what was so charming about the G1 cartoon and like those comics, like IDW's comics and stuff, was that like you could tell just by their color and like what they looked like, you could tell who it was.
Yeah.
But with the Decepticons in the Michael Bay movies, as they go on, I couldn't tell you who they are. I forgot that Shockwave was in Dark of the Moon. Or Soundwave. His design's awful. Shockwave's is pretty cool.
The designs weren't that good. I think that I'll always say it. People can like them, and that's good for you. But for me, they look like bugs to me, like metal bugs. Like, I don't know. And also, yeah, like as you go on, like I know Revenge of the Fallen happened during like a writer strike, but like Dark of the Moon, he's ripping Shockwave's eye out, and after he's ripping, and
but
after
that,
Megatron makes a truce with him, he rips Megatron's head off, and it's just like there comes to a point where it's like Optimus from the G1 show and IDW and Daniel Warren Johnson's comic series, he's a leader, almost like if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, like Aang, where he does not want to kill or hurt anybody. He will if he really has to. But even like in Transformers 1, almost best depiction of Prime that we've gotten. Not the best design. I think the best design still goes to Bumblebee, but best depiction of Prime.
Daniel Warren Johnson's Optimus Prime is my favorite design.
Well, yeah, it's based off G1. But at the end of the day, it's like, for me, as a Transformers fan now, still now, I really loved what Transformers 1 did, where it's like you got like Lita, Bumblebee, of course. It had a lot. Ultra Magnus was in there. Sentinel Prime, like it gave new lore, but also really harkened back to like the old series.
They made it a good jumping on point for new fans, but also like rewarding old fans.
Oh yeah,
which is something that like Transformers should always be doing.
Can we get this straight though? And this is another thing that I think Michael Bay's Transformers started. Leave the mask on fucking Optimus Prime.
I did not need to see that man's lips.
I do not need to see that dude's lips.
They've done it in cartoons and shit, like where he like you can tell he's talking with his mask moving.
Which is a good show, by the way. I'm so tired of seeing Optimus Prime's lips. I just keep the mask on, man.
He looks badass. It gives
Yes,
it.
he
Like,
looks
it's like part of
badass,
his character.
and it is part of his character. But at the end of the day, that's just a nitpick. At the end of the day, I'm excited that it seems like that there's life starting to form back up into this series. Rise of the Beast really didn't do much for me. I was like, okay, it's all right.
It wasn't
But
anything special, but it had it had its
it had
moments.
moments, but it felt like it was going back to like War Criminal Prime in a way sometimes.
Fair.
But what about you? I know you're a Transformers fan, so
Oh my god. Another, I mean, like, kind of off topic, but another reason why, like, I'm kind of okay with Marvel failing is I'm tired of Marvel being god of pop culture. Transformers,
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles,
Ninja
all
Turtles is
these.
starting to get some love too.
Ninja Turtles is starting to get some love. That's definitely something that we could talk about in another episode.
Yeah.
But all these niche, like, what's the word? Fuck. I don't know. All these niche, like, products or whatever, I guess is what you want to call it.
Mhm.
They haven't gotten much love because Marvel has been like the powerhouse of cinema and Pulp Fiction and everything. Like, they own the merchandise stuff, they own the movie theaters, they own the TV screens, they own the video games. Like very little few times, like, small projects like get more love than an MCU project.
That's fair.
And Transformers 1, I hate that. I think it made enough money for it to justify them to not make another one. I'm not sure though, but like, people were put off by the trailer, and I was too. But hey guys, guest appearance real quick. This is Wade, my brother, who had to walk through our room. Anyway,
We'll find a way to edit that out. Probably
yeah.
not.
It was, the trailer was so misleading. The movie was great. The movie was the best depiction of the Transformers, I think, thus far on film.
Mhm.
It had. I'm a sucker for brotherhood arcs. Like, I love Anakin and Obi-Wan. I love Leo and Raph. Superman and Batman in a way, kind of. But Optimus and Megatron,
Ben and Human Torch.
yeah. I'm a sucker for those, like, especially Anakin and Obi-Wan and
Me too.
Optimus and Megatron, where they're
Where they
just
have
like opposite sides.
not brothers, but Red Hood and Batman is almost
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I'd agree.
Where it's like that, or not even that, where it's like stories where two characters have the same way of meeting it, have the same goal in mind, but different ways of approaching it.
Magneto and Charles Xavier too, perfect examples.
Yeah.
But their relationship alone in that movie was enough
Peak.
to make a grown man cry.
Real.
Like, I did not see. I mean, everybody who has common knowledge of Transformers knows that, like, eventually D16 is going to be Megatron. He's going to be a villain, but I had no idea how they do it. And I don't want to get into spoilers, just because it's still, like, relatively new out. I guess I could say it, right? When did it
I
come
mean,
out?
it's almost been out for a month. Yeah, you can say it.
Yeah. The Optimus taking a bullet for Sentinel Prime after everything that he's done, and D16's like holding him over the cliff, and he's like, "I'm done saving you." He just lets him drop.
And at the same time, you see, rise, come with me, and I'll lead you into greatness. And then as he says, like, I am Megatron, arise, Optimus
You get to
Prime.
see both of them becoming like their titular selves,
Yes.
and just
That whole
the last
fight,
30 minutes was just fucking
great.
a roller coaster of emotions and amazing. I wish I could have seen it again. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it again when, like,
It comes out.
it comes out to streaming.
Oh yeah.
Such
Probably,
a good movie.
I think me and him both said that it's probably like one of our favorite movies this year.
Although
Dune
in
2
my
is
opinion, it's
really
one of my
up there for
favorite.
me, but still.
It's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Maybe
I
even
still
favorite
think
movie
it's
of
like
all
one of
time.
my favorite movies for this year. Dune
Well,
2 is really
there's
up
not
there
a
for
lot
me.
of competition with that. Dune 2 came out last year, didn't it?
Depends on. I think it came out in January.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Either way, still, it's like a really good movie.
It's a really fucking good movie.
Transformers 1 is great. So I think we can both agree that like we're really happy that.
You're really happy with.
Hey, femboys, I'm coming back through frame.
All right.
Wait, everybody.
But overall, I think we both really agree that we're glad Transformers come back to life.
It's getting its
And
love.
I low-key hope that the next Transformers movie that's not animated is directed again by the Bumblebee director, Travis Knight. It'd be nice to see him get more love and see what he does, although I think he's doing Voltron or He-Man, the live-action version.
He-Man?
But either way,
Have we not learned our lesson?
that's the first episode, I think, for today.
Of KO, OK,
We're working on a title. It's like KO.
Talk to
no,
her.
no, bro.
No.
But
Shout out Haley Welch. You never know.
she's not watching this.
Yeah, you're right. She isn't even that good looking.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell whatever audience this is.
I mean, she is. I don't think she's really that good looking. She's not my type. But talk to her.
All right. Well, anyway.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah, you're gonna be the reason why this podcast fails.
No, I'm the hardest. I'm making people laugh. For sure. People are busting.
Busting nuts.
Nope. We can go ahead and end it.
Yeah, it's time to end.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Peace.